Hello and good day, madam. My name is Pravindra son of Vijayan. My metric card number is 221310987. So today I'm going to present about the project background. So what is the importance of maintenance work at UNIMED? So first of all, to keep university facilities running smoothly. Secondly, managed by UNIMEP's University Development Department. And third, covers infrastructure, buildings and open spaces. So the main maintenance tasks involved in this project is electrical repairs, carpentry, plumbing, HVAC servicing, general upkeep of college residency. So focus on ergonomics. What are the focus on ergonomics in this project? To ensure a healthy and productive work environment, reduces physical strain and injury risk, improve job performance and comfort, and also avoiding musculoskeletal disorders. So what are the safety measures in this project? So proper PPE, which is personal protective equipment, follow safety protocols, and also conduct regular safety training. So lastly, let's look at the physical demands in our project background. So the physical demands are long hours of standing, repetitive movements, heavy lifting, and lastly, poorly designed workplace layout. So let's look at the aim and objective in this project. So the aim is to improve the safety, health, and productivity of maintenance personnel by analyzing their work practices and environment. And for the objective, it's mainly to identify and classify the maintenance task. Secondly, evaluate ergonomic conditions and limitations in this project. And lastly, to assess effects of workplace on health, safety, and performance. So now let's look at the project limitation scope. So this project focuses on ergonomic and safety for 10 maintenance workers at college residency PF1 and PF2 in UNIMED. So what are the targeted group in this project? So it only includes full-time maintenance staff at PF1 and PF2, and the tasks are electrical work, plumbing, HVAC, carpentry, and general upkeep. And the next target is we should exclude the contract workers, admin staffs, and other departments. So why we are focusing narrow to the maintenance? So it's allow detailed analysis. So and it's also focuses on real daily work conditions and also easier to manage and study the thoroughly. So the project limitations are small sample size, which is 10 workers only, then does not include mental stress or job satisfactions, managed systems or work processes, and also broader organizational factors. So mainly the study focuses on physical ergonomics, safety hazards, mainly to improve comfort, health, and work performance. Thank you. That's all from me.
Madam, my name is Ethan. So in this project, I want to explain about method used in the project. So there was four methods. The first one is direct observation. In this, maintenance tasks were observed during real work tasks such as electrical repair, maintaining furniture assembly, and extra. The second one is focused on posture like body mechanics, tool handling, and work environment, lightening, ventilation, space layout. So we also helped identify ergonomics like awkward posture, repetitive movements, and prolonged standings. So the second one is interview and informal discussion. In this, we take a short interviews were conducted with 10 maintenance workers at PFI1 and PFI2. The second one is workers shared physical challenge like fatigue, comfort, and risky work practices. They also gave insights and not visible during observation and delayed pain and task reputation stress. So under the hierarchy hazard identification, risk assessment and risk control, there are three, which is hazard were identified are categorized into four, that is ergonomic, physical, chemical and electrical. So we also risk was assessed based on tool, that is likelihood and severity, using risk matrix. And the third one is suitable controls control access was suggested, like PP used, tool redesign and task rotation. The fourth one is data analysis. Data from observation and interview IRAC were compiled, then the pattern were analyzed to identify risk task and unsafe conditions. So the result helped in prioritizing improvement for safety, comfort and efficiency workplace. So the second one is hierarchy process overview. So that is for the meaning of hazard identification is there are 10 different maintenance activities accessed. There are painting, drilling, iconic palette, repairing and welding and extra. So the hazard identified included four, that is physical. In this physical is falls, injuries, electric shocks. The second one is ergonomic. For the ergonomic is overheat work, awkward posture and prolonged standings. For the chemical is inhaling the painting smells and dust. For the electrical is exposed wiring during repair. For the risk assessment is each task was scored based on two, that is likelihood and severity. Likelihood is how likely the hazard will happen. The meaning of severity is how serious the consequence will be. For the risk matrix, in this process risk matrix is used. Risk is classified into two, that is likelihood and severity. And the risk matrix classified, that is low, medium and high risk. For example, shielding work on stress. High risk is tall fall hazards, and the severity is lack of supervision. For the risk control measure is engineering controls. For example, use scaffolds, ladder with a stabilizer, or tool modification like long handled rollers for the paintings. Then the acquisition control is task rotation to reduce the muscle fatigues, and have to supervise during high risk projects or activities. And the workers must wear the PPEs, for example, glove, goggles, and helmets and extra.
Good day, doctor. My name is Karthik. My matrix number 2213136778. And today I will be presenting about the result and finding from this project. So, we capture 10 maintenance activity in PF1 and PF2 hostel. So, this activity chair repair and assembly, fixing table cabinet, painting eye walls, painting columns, ceiling plaster repair, and repairing windows, repairing air conditioner, welding study table, wall plaster repair, and finally changing bulbs on ladder. So after we capture all these activities, we then carry out an assessment called hierarchy assessment. To do that, we fill up hierarchy form. So this hierarchy form consists of work activity as a classification, incident and consequences. So, for example, for activity one, the work activity is assembling and disassembling a chair, and the hazard is an injury from two, and the hazard classification is physical and ergonomic, and the incident and consequences is an injury while assembling chair. So this method is carried out for the remaining nine activities by listing out the asset, and then the asset classification, and then the incident consequences. So once we complete the hierarchy form, and then we carry out a risk assessment. So basically, in the risk assessment, uh, there are existing control measure, likelihood justification, likelihood, severity, and risk metric number. So the existing control measure is where the worker already using a control measure. So what we did is we justify the likelihood of the risk, and then given a value for the likelihood and the severity, and then we calculate the risk matrix number from the likelihood and severity value. So, for example, the activity number one, the worker use glove. So we justify it as a medium risk and give a value for likelihood, which is 2, and for the severity is also 2, and then we multiply the value of likelihood and severity to get the risk matrix number. So for this activity, the risk matrix number is 4. So the same method is carried out for the remaining 9 activity. So once we complete the risk assessment, we carry out an additional control reassessment. For this, it consists of additional control measure, likelihood, severity, RMN. So what we did is we came up with an idea. So an additional control measure which can reduce the risk. So for example, the activity one, uh, the assembly and disassembly of the chair, we came up with the idea of using a suitable protective glove. So from the previous, the worker used not not so protective glove. So we recommend them to use a suitable protective glove, which eye protective glove. So for that, we give a value of risk likelihood is 1, severity is 2, and then we multiply those value and came up with an RMA value of 2. So from the risk assessment previously, the RMN value is 4, and for the additional control addition value, the RMN is 2. So we can conclude that the risk can be reduced. So from the Iraqi assessment, we propose a key recommendation to reduce the risk. So the key recommendation are: first, the safe work practice. For example, follow SOPs for ladder, drill, or tool use activities, and then job specific training. For this, conduct a safety briefing and hands-on training for high risk tasks. Next is enhance tool and equipment. Use ergonomic tools or ensure equipment is well maintained. And then engineering control. Use platform or scaffolding instead of ladders for high work. And next is administrative control. Rotate the task to prevent fatigue and awkward posture. And next is PPE usage and monitoring. For this, reinforce PPE use. For example, glove, goggles, mask, and monitor compliances. And finally, improve work environment. Ensure good lighting, ventilation, and clear floor space. And in conclusion, technical tasks involve risk like awkward posture, falls, tool injury, and muscle strain should be reduced. Overhead work and ladder use need urgent safety attention. Uh, the risks are manageable through engineering and administrative control, proper training, and consistent use of PPE equipments. Safer LTO work conditions can be achieved with proper measure, and continuous monitoring and reassessment are the key to improving safety practice.